So, in this particular session, today we are going to discuss about dysgraphia. Okay, dysgraphia is one of the type of specific learning disability. In our previous session, in our last session, we discussed about SLD, specific learning disability, and we discussed some of the main concepts, characteristics of children having specific learning disability. If you were there, you are free to ask your concerns, you're free to ask your doubts, questions related to a specific learning disability. And definitely you can put it in the comment section, you can put it in the chat box if you're having any doubts or any questions related to the session which on the topic which we did in the last session, that was specific learning disability. In this particular session, we are going to talk about dysgraphia. Okay, dysgraphia is one of the type of specific learning disability. When I'm talking about specific learning disabilities, in the last session also we discussed on several types: dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, then this we talked about dysphasia and dyspraxia, then non-verbal learning disability. So in this particular session, we will be talking mainly about dysgraphia, the meaning, the concept, the definition, the characteristics, and the types, basic types, subtypes, you can say, of dysgraphia. Okay. If you're having any doubts, any concerns, any questions, you can definitely put it in the chat box. And of course, if you want me to take session on some particular topic, so for that also, you can put it in the comment section or in the chat box, or you can definitely drop me a individual message on my personal window so that I can plan my video accordingly. Okay. Now, before talking about dysgraphia, now definitely dysgraphia we means that refers to a writing difficulty. Okay, writing disability. The child who is having difficulty in writing. So before jumping onto dysgraphia and the meaning and the characteristics, first understand about the writing thing. Okay, because writing is very important skill, um, which we are highlighting when we are talking about dysgraphia. Okay, so writing is a complex cognitive task. It is a complex language task which is dependent upon multiple language skills, working memory, graphomotor skills, and processing speed. So this definition is given by Graham, Harris, and McCone in 2013. So when I'm talking about writing skills, we all know it's a complex language task which involves four important skills, that is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay. When I'm talking about listening, speaking, it comes under working memory. Reading, speaking, and reading comes under processing speed, in which the child, the individual has to process the information what he has heard or what he has read on a printed script. Okay. And reading and writing is considered as graphomotor skills. Graphomotor skills basically refers to जहाँ पे हमारे फाइन मोटर स्किल्स इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं, जहाँ पे हमारे लेटर्स इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं, words involved हो जाते हैं. So it is termed as graphomotor skills. Okay. So when I'm talking about writing, it includes graphomotor skills, working memory, and particular all of these language skills, and obviously the processing speed of the person. How much he is listening and then he is able to write. How much he is also speaking and then he is able to write. How much he is reading the content, understanding the content, and answering the questions given on the sheet, and after processing the information whatever he has read, he is writing on that particular sheet. So all of this combine the writing skill. So all these skills are mandatory, you can say it's they are as a backbone for writing skill. Okay, next, one second. Yes. So coming on to dysgraphia. Dysgraphia is a word of Greek origin. Now you can see this word is being divided into certain subtypes, or you can say small symbols, or there are small little words which help us to understand the meaning of this entire word dysgraphia. Dysgraphia is made up of this graph, yeah. Okay. So when I'm talking about this, it refers to difficulty, challenges, concerns, issues. Okay. Graph refers to write something, writing skill. Okay. ER means a condition, or you can say a state of. Okay. So when we are combining this entire meaning, the child is having difficulty to write, difficulty to express himself or herself, and is in a state of having a difficulty to express their thoughts, their ideas on a sheet of paper. So dysgraphia is basically a condition, or you can say it's a neurodevelopmental disorder, which involves difficulty in letter formation, difficulty in writing, difficulty in expressing their thoughts on a sheet of paper. Okay, so it is best defined as neurodevelopmental disorder manifested by illegible or inefficient handwriting. Now, writing has several components like spelling, written expression, and handwriting. Okay, so when I'm talking about dysgraphia, the child or the individual has difficulty in all of these areas. Their writing will be not clear, it will be illegible, it would be not understandable. Spelling issues will be there. Spelling mistakes on a consistent basis, it will be there. Whatever the child is able to express on a sheet of paper, that we will not be able to understand. He will not be able to express that clearly in a clear words in proper sentences. So these are some of the basic characteristics of dysgraphia. This difficulty is the result of deficits in graphomotor function. Graphomotor, I have already explained in the previous slide, so I hope it's clear. Hand movements used for writing, when the person is using their fine motor skills for expressing their words, for writing the letters, for forming the letters, for writing the complete spelling, that comes under graphomotor. Okay, and or storing or retrieving the orthographic codes. Orthographic basically refers to the letter formation with which the spellings is being checked. Okay, like for an example, if I'm speaking about the spelling atom. Okay, so the child will write BAT. That comes under, these are the orthographic codes. If I'm just reversing or I'm substituting B to C at a cat, CAT, again the spelling goes wrong. Instead of bat, I've written cat or I've written dat. Okay, DAT or DAD. So the spelling gets wrong. Okay. Secondary consequences may include problems with spellings and written expression. Again, this is one of the characteristic. Okay, consistently the spelling mistakes will be there. The written expression issues, or you can say the problems will be there. Okay. Dysgraphia is also known as transcription disability. Okay, that is a learning difference that affects writing. Now, a learning difference that affects writing refers to, like if you have given a content, or if you are dictating, if you're having a spell bee in your class and you're narrating some words, the child has to write down those words, and then definitely there will be a discrepancy that what he has heard and what he is writing on a sheet of paper. Okay, it is associated with impaired handwriting, orthographic coding, and finger sequencing. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders 5, that is DSM-5, uses the phrase an impairment in written expression under the category of specific learning disorder. So, DSM-5 says that dysgraphia is impairment in written expression. Most professionals characterize dysgraphia as neurological condition which impairs writing and memory processing. So again, all of the same things are repeating. It must be understood that some people use the word dysgraphia to refer to the writing of a child with messy handwriting who may not show any memory processing issues or orthographic difficulties. This is very important. In some of the schools, teachers believe that if the handwriting is messy, if the written content is not clear, it means the child is having dysgraphia. No, not at all. When I'm talking about dysgraphia, the all of the three main concerns should be there on a consistent basis and even after giving proper instructions. Okay. If I'm looking at the writing sample, written sample of a child in which he has committed, you can say lots of messy handwriting is there. The child has not written on straight lines. The letters are dancing on a sheet of paper. There are spelling mistakes. And even after explaining all of this to the child, the entire alignment from left to right, giving its explanation of all of this, and even helping him to learn the spellings. Even after all of this, the child is committing mistakes on a repetitive basis. Even after giving 1 month intervention, then we can say that yes, the child is having dysgraphia. But only one characteristic that the child handwriting is messy or handwriting is illegible, we can't say on the basis of one characteristic that the child is having dysgraphia. Not at all. Okay. Next. Yes. So written expression, handwriting, spelling. These three things are very important when I'm talking about writing and when I'm also talking about assessment of writing. Whenever we have to see that if any issues or concerns are arising in writing, these three are the major important elements that we have to consider. How's the handwriting of the child? What about the spelling mistakes? And is the child able to express their knowledge, their understanding on a sheet of paper? When I'm combining handwriting and spelling, then only it comes under the category of written expression. So you can also say written expression is the combination of handwriting and spelling. And also I would like to here add one point, that is the comprehension part. How much the child has understood. Again, the comprehension part comes under reading. But जब तक comprehension नहीं होगी, child will not be able to express their thoughts, will not be able to write their thoughts on a sheet of paper. Okay. Handwriting and spellings are known as transcription skills. Okay. Now you can see when I'm talking about all of these areas, on the left hand side and on the right hand side, there are other basic elements: processing speed, orthographic processing, phonological processing, executive functioning, oral language, fine motor, graphomotor. So, if you're an educator or if you're a parent, and if you want to see that is the child having the signs of dysgraphia or writing difficulty or writing disability, you can look at all of these areas of the child. ठीक है? कितनी जल्दी वो information को समझ के लिख पाता है. Orthographic processing, how much is his speed in और writing fluency, कितनी जल्दी वो लिख पाता है, बीच में अटक रहा है, spelling mistakes कर रहा है, cutting on a regular basis हो रही है, eraser बहुत ज्यादा frequently use हो रहा है. Okay. Phonological processing, when you are speaking a word, is he able to recall the phonics? Is he able to remember the spellings of that particular word? Executive functioning, how creative he is. Okay, how much he is able to recall the information. Like for an example, tomorrow is the exam. Okay, बच्चे ने अच्छे से learn कर लिया, अच्छे से memorize कर लिए answers, but on the sheet of paper, on the answer sheet, he is not able to remember. He is not able to recall that answer. Okay, so that comes under executive functioning skills. Oral language, how your oral language is. Is he able to, verbalize his answers? Is he able to pronounce the word correctly? And then is he able to write down on the sheet of paper or not? Fine motor and graphomotor. Fine motor again, how his skills are. Is he able to use hold the pencil correctly? Is he able to move from left to right when writing on a sheet of paper? Is he able to follow the alignment? Is he able to write on the lines? All of that comes under fine motor and graphomotor. Okay, so with the help of this, all of these elements, you can assess the child. If you're an educator, if you're a special educator, if you're a parent, you can assess the child, you can find out what all difficulties are there, what all concern areas are arising. Okay. Now, characteristics again, basic characteristics, and again, if you are observing that these characteristics are repeating on a regular basis, even after clear and specific instructions, then we can suspect that the child is having dysgraphia, or you can say specific learning disability in writing. Okay. Eligibility, poor handwriting, incomplete letter formation, unusual writing speed, very fast, very slow, variable, it's not consistent. Hand or wrist fatigue, the child is getting tired, thak jata hai, nahi likh pata, might be complaining about my hand is paining, my fingers are paining, I'm not able to hold the pencil. Unusual writing pressure, writing, holding the pencil very tightly and giving lots of pressure on a sheet of paper. Multiple spelling errors are there, mixture of capital and lowercase letters, lack of letter anchoring on the lines, misuse of the space. How much space I have to leave after a word, how much space I have to leave after the line. Okay. Then frequent erasers, as mentioned before, using erasers frequently, frustrated, avoiding the writing task, giving excuses for not attending the English class or literature class or any other class in which the writing is involved. Simple word choice that does not reflect the vocabulary abilities, lack of punctuation, capitalization, paragraph indentation. So all of these things should be there in a writing. If the child is avoiding all of this, is not able to perform correctly on a punctuation capitalization areas, then yes. Okay. Written output does not match with the oral language skills. Oral language skills, the verbal language skills, how he is speaking, but the child is not able to present on his writing. Okay. Now, the same characteristics are being divided, are being, distributed into major domains. Okay, like spatial skills, fine motor skills, literacy skills, orthographic coding and processing, cognitive skills. So whatever characteristics I have discussed here, those characteristics you can see have been divided into several domains of dysgraphia. That when I'm talking about dysgraphia, it might include spatial fine motor skills issues, under which all of these characteristics are there: messy handwriting, poor legibility, unfinished letter. On the second part, on the right hand side, you can see literacy skills, difficulty in orthographic coding and processing. So under which all of these characters will come. On the bottom, you can see cognitive skills, poor working memory or lack of deficits in working memory, we can say, under which difficulty putting ideas on a sheet, disorganized writing, writing that lacks coherence, all of these characteristics will come. Okay, I will share this particular picture on the in my group, and even I will put it in the comment section. So definitely you can go through it. If you are having any doubt in any of the word, in any of the points, you can let me know. Okay. Then subtypes of dysgraphia. This is the last slide for the day. Subtypes of dysgraphia. When I want to talk about dysgraphia and when I want to really figure out that what's the cause behind this writing difficulty, or you can say what's the exact difficulty the child is having, there the subtypes help me. Why we are focusing on these, dividing the characteristics into these areas and understanding the subtypes, because when I will be able to recognize that this is a particular subtype of dysgraphia the child is facing, the child is, having the difficulty in this particular subtype of dysgraphia, I will be able to provide right type of intervention. I will be able to focus on those activities which will focus on this particular subtype. Okay, like for an example, if I'm talking about the subtype of dysgraphia, dyslexic dysgraphia. So what is dyslexic dysgraphia? That is illegible independent work, can copy reasonably legibly, spelling is very poor, fine motor skills may be intact, normal pen grip and posture issues are there, especially consistent writing, no difficulty in drawing. अब देखो यहाँ पे no difficulty in drawing means कि बच्चे को drawing में कोई difficulty नहीं है, so I don't have to focus on making him drawing and making him write consistently. I will focus on above 4 points, which is the issue or which is the concern when I'm talking about. Okay. Then on motor dysgraphia, you can see illegible independent work is there. Cannot copy legibly. Okay. Spelling orally may be fine. Spellings बच्चा orally सही से बता पा रहा है, लेकिन independent work नहीं कर पा रहा, कॉपिंग नहीं कर पा रहा, तो मेरे को इन स्किल्स पे ध्यान देना है when I am giving the intervention. That's the reason we have to focus on the subtypes. When we are focusing on the subtypes, we get to know कौन से areas बच्चे के सही है writing में, कौन से areas सही नहीं है, and on the basis of that, we can provide the correct intervention. We can provide the correct support to the child. Okay. Fine motor skills are poor with limited dexterity and poor muscle tone. Work gets progressively untidier with time. Letter formation is irregular. Pencil grip and posture may be odd, often strained. Spatially consistent writing, difficulty drawing. अब dyslexic dysgraphia में difficulty नहीं थी drawing में, लेकिन motor dysgraphia में है. So I have to make sure that I am providing the drawing intervention to the child. Okay. Spatial dysgraphia, illegible independent work, cannot copy legibly, normal spelling, fine motor skills are intact, normal pen grip and posture, spatially inconsistent lettering, does not relate to lines or margin consistently, difficulty in drawing. So these were the subtypes of dysgraphia. These subtypes are described in their purest form in the interest of clarity. As mentioned before, these subtypes help us to give the clear picture that which all areas are affected, which all areas are not affected. Okay. However, there is often overlap between different types. Of course, there will be overlapping of some of the areas in types of dysgraphia, and children will usually present with a mixed sign of dysgraphia. Very important. When you will observe children having dysgraphia, there might be a case जहाँ पे ये overlaps of characteristics हो रहे होंगे. Okay. In that case, it would be difficult to understand which subtype of dysgraphia the child is having. So in that case, it is being suggested to provide intervention for the writing, spelling and written expression. Okay. But कहीं पे जहाँ पे cases अभी initial stage में है, if the child is in grade 2nd, if the child is in grade 3rd, वहां पे हम पता लगा सकते हैं, okay, there might be a motor skill issue because of his lack of fine motor skills. तो वहां पे I will try my best कि मैं fine motor activities ज्यादा अच्छे से कराऊं, so that the challenges does not get severe, challenges बढ़ ना जाए. तो वहां पे in that case these subtypes will help me. Okay. But no problem. Like if you are just able to understand, अगर आप इतना भी समझ पा रहे हैं कि बच्चे को dysgraphia है, बच्चे को written expression, spelling, handwriting में concerns हो रहे हैं regular basis पे, तो वहां पे भी आप खाली अभी dysgraphia के भी intervention provide करेंगे, instead of focusing on all of these subtypes, it will be of great help. Okay. This is on a higher level, that if you are so much of experienced working with children having dysgraphia, and then you are able to sense out ki haan, this is like dyslexic dysgraphia, this is motor dysgraphia, it would be much better and much more clear picture it will give you. But if you're not able to figure that out, not an issue, not a problem at all. Dysgraphia bhi agar hame sense ho jaye, suspect ho jaye bachche ko, and we can provide the right kind of intervention. Okay. So yes, that's it for today. I have a YouTube channel named as Tanya Batra Learning Support Educator. I request you all to please subscribe to my channel, and definitely I'm also posting daily tips on this particular channel for educators and teachers. You can subscribe to my channel and you can get to know about the daily tips, and what all updates you are getting. I will definitely posting this particular video also, this session on my YouTube channel, and will share the link. If you're having any doubts, any questions related to the topic dysgraphia, kindly put it in the chat box or in the comment section. And yes, of course, please give me your advice or suggestions on which particular topic you want me to post my next video or you want me to plan my next session. So thank you everyone. Have a good day.